Hey folks, this is a video on section 2.2. I realize it says chapter 10. Understand that in this particular textbook, circles is located in chapter 2, but I'm including it with the chapter 10 material. So that's why I'm calling this basically 10.0. So chapter 10 is all about conic sections. There's going to be 4 different conic sections. The first one's going to be the circle, the second one the parabola, third ellipse, and the fourth the hyperbola. And you can see here, according to this diagram, that the reason they're called conic sections is because these are created by using cones. So notice that if I have a cone and I take a plane and I slice the cone perpendicular to the axis of the cone, this causes my slice ends up being a circle. If I were to slice at an angle, this would end up being an ellipse. If I were to slice just a piece of the cone, not the entire cone, but a piece of it, this would be a parabola, which you studied in previous math classes. And then if I were to slice both parts of the cone, this would be a hyperbola. So a hyperbola is kind of like having 2 parabolas back to back with some space in between. So all of these 4 are going to be called conic sections. And this is what chapter 10 is all about. Specifically, let's talk about just the circle. So you have the center radius form of the equation of a circle. This is also going to be called the standard form or the standard equation of a circle. So realize you may see that both ways. One thing to point out is that this particular form has the center and it also has the radius. Center is at HK, the radius is at R. So when you're looking at something like this first example, notice the directions. We're supposed to find the equation first, and then we're supposed to graph. So we're given the center and we're given the radius. We're given the H, the K, and the R. And what you find is that those are the only 3 things you have to be able to write your equation or to be able to graph your equation. So following our center radius form up at the top of the screen there, we've got an X minus an H, and right now our H is 1. And then we have a Y minus a K, so this is going to be Y minus negative 2, so that's going to be Y plus 2. And then on the other side, that's going to be my radius squared, so that's going to be 3 squared. So then what we have here is X minus 1 quantity squared plus Y plus 2 quantity squared is equal to 9. Now, in order to graph, you see that I've already drawn this partially on the screen. Draw your center first, and then just go right, left, up, and down a distance of 3. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just do your best to draw the most accurate circle that you can. On the test, you will be asked of the 4 things that we're going to have to graph, the circles, the parabolas, ellipses, and hyperbolas, you will be asked to graph by hand. Some of your questions are going to be to graph digitally on my lab, and then some of the questions will be to graph by hand, so just be aware of that. All right, this one's actually easier than the first one. So my center is at 0, 0. That means my H and my K are both 0. My radius then is 2, and so I just have X squared plus Y squared is equal to my 2 squared, which is 4. Go ahead and plot the 0, 0, and then go up, down, right, and left a distance of 2. Draw your circle, and there you have it. All right, so that's going to be the end of the first video. It's a pretty short one, and the rest of the videos, I'm going to do 2 more for this section, so stay tuned.